It's mid-March, and for a lot of us that means three things: spring break, swimsuits, and summer. But for some of us that also means trying to eliminate a few things from our diets in order to drop a few pounds before it's swimsuit season. I've done some research and I've found the best ways to eliminate sugar cravings in order to eliminate desserts from my diets, and that's what we're going to go through today. First, I'm going to tell you about the what you need to know and the motivations that you need to have in order to be successful in this endeavor. Secondly, I'm going to go through and give you the actual tips on how to eliminate sugar cravings. And then lastly, I'm going to tell you what you should also be avoiding when you are trying to avoid sugar. There are three things that you need in order to be successful in curbing your sugar cravings. The first is some kind of motivation to do so. That could be either some kind of disease or weight loss goal, or to simply crave sugar less often, so you eat sweets less and can be a little healthier. Another thing you need is the ability to identify where and when your cravings hit. This way, if you're able to pinpoint when you're more vulnerable to eating sweets and caving into your temptations, you can avoid the situation with a mindset that you will resist this temptation. Another thing that you need is some kind of understanding of what the effect of sugar is on the human body. According to an article posted in 2014 by the American Council on Exercise on how sugar affects your body, a high sugar consumption correlates with a high risk of heart disease and cavities, as well as weight gain, liver disease, memory loss, and diabetes. And as you can see from this graph, the added sugar consumption per capita in the United States increased by 12 pounds in 30 years. And this increase correlated with an increase in the percent of Americans with diabetes and the percent of U.S. children and adults who are obese. When trying to avoid sugar, it is important to understand the risks that it causes on human health, because when you know the problems that can come from a high sugar consumption, you are less likely to eat foods that can cause these kinds of harms to it. When trying to reduce sugar cravings, it is important to eat regularly, to eat whole foods, to try to keep sweets out of your vicinity as much as possible, to get sufficient sleep, and to also exercise. According to an article published in Prevention in 2017, consuming whole foods helps to regulate your blood sugar levels and therefore can help to reduce sugar cravings. When you eat foods that are processed and have a high sugar content, your blood sugar levels tend to rise very quickly and then they crash. When you experience crashing blood sugar levels, you tend to crave excess calories from sweets. Now that you know some of the things that you should be doing in order to reduce sugar cravings, let's talk about what you shouldn't be doing. Just like you should be eating regular, complete meals, you should avoid eating irregularly. If you eat irregularly, then your blood sugar levels are more likely to be unstable, and therefore you are more likely to crave sugar. Something else to avoid when you're trying to reduce your sugar consumption is thinking of food as a reward. If you don't use food to reward yourself, then you are less likely to eat sweets. A better way to reward yourself is to buy something that you've wanted for a long time or do something that you've really wanted to do. It's important to avoid not having a mindset that you can't eat sweets. According to an article posted by the Huffington Post in 2010, it's better to have a mindset that you don't eat sweets and that you don't put things into your body that can cause harm to them. When you have a mindset that you cannot eat sweets, you will have feelings of restriction that can cause you to crave them and give in to your temptations. Now you have an understanding of how sugar affects your body. You have some tips on how to best resist eating sugar, and you also know what you should be avoiding when you are trying to resist sugar. I hope that the next time you are faced with a cookie, some cake, or a dessert menu, you have the strength and the ability to resist it with this knowledge.